So, Gaffer, obviously a disappointing day yesterday, a 2-0 defeat at Boreham Wood. What are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, it was a disappointing defeat. Disappointing day all round. A challenging day all round. Actually, we had numerous challenges from 8 in the morning, which I don't know whether or not they contributed to any aspects of the performance, but certainly not ideal preparation on a number of levels for the game yesterday. But the game itself, it's a tough one because I think, we go to Boreham Wood, we know them well. We did all our research on the new setup, the new players they brought in, we know. But there are no surprises with Boreham Wood. The combative, the physical, they compete for everything. They want to win set pieces in the opposition half. They want to put the ball into areas where they're going to give Chris Bush the opportunity to put long throws in the box. And we knew if we defended those moments well, we would put ourselves in with a very strong chance of winning the game. And they're my reflections. I've not watched the game back yet, which I will do after I finish this call with you. But my immediate reflections after the game are that we did most things that we were trying to do within the game, other than two crucial aspects. We didn't manage to put the ball in the back of the net, partly due to some very good goalkeeping from Nathan Ashmore and some very strong, committed defending from Boreham Wood getting blocks on our shots, and at the other end we were sucker punched with the. We weren't sucker punched because that's an injustice to Boreham Wood. They achieved what they were trying to achieve and scored off two set pieces. So not a wholly unpredictable outcome really. We could have defended those moments better, and I think that would have put us in with a much better chance of winning the game.
Of course, you made just one change to the side that beat Bromley last week, and I'm sure you were hoping for a similar performance and outcome to that.
Yeah, I think largely the performance wasn't a million miles off. There were I'd say probably two or three players who maybe weren't quite at the same levels. Without being poor in the game, they weren't as good as they have been in recent weeks, and we expect them to be. And part of that is down to playing a very good team like Boreham Wood. And part of it is maybe down to them just not having a great day at the office. But to all intents and purposes, I think there were some good passages of play. We still created chances. I mean, you think back to the chances in the first half. Millie Ali, Jack Evans, two of those really clear, really good opportunities. Then in the second half, we've had a save, a number of blocks. Adam Senior 6, 7, 8 yards out. Millie Ali ghosting past them down the sides and then lashing the ball wildly up and wide of the goal, which was reminiscent of his sort of inconsistent spells last season. You think back to the consistent spells he was getting into those positions and hitting the target, working the keeper or putting it in the back of the net. And so these are the key moments that, if we're better in those moments, then we're going to clearly come out on the better side of the result. So that felt like a bit of a setback because they've been moments where we've been better over pre-season, over the latter stages of last season. We're more consistent in those moments, and we don't want to start setting ourselves back in that respect. We've got to build on what we did in the latter stages of last season and what we did against Bromley, and not put ourselves in a position where we're clawing back to a level in certain moments of our game. We've just got to be more consistent in that.
Of course, as you mentioned, obviously a number of good chances for both sides in that first half, but goalkeepers certainly coming out on top in those occasions.
Yeah, interesting insight. It's not often you see a game where both goalkeepers are captains, and they probably proved their worth in the first half, because I thought Nathan Ashmore played exceptionally well yesterday. He had a very good game, and I know how highly Luke and the Boreham Wood fans think of Nathan, and similar with us. And Sam Johnson, he's made a couple of very good saves off set pieces, again, off second phases of set pieces as well. So, the warning signs were there. We talked about it at half time, and we knew that we realistically, it was probably the biggest threat Boreham Wood were going to carry. So the input of the goalkeepers sort of highlighted the importance of them, but it also gave us an early sort of indicator of how either team could go on and win the game, and they were just better in their moments than we were in ours. So it's a bitter pill. It's frustrating, but we've got to swallow it, and we've got to take the learnings from it, be better in those moments, and move on.
As you mentioned, obviously conceding off of 2 set pieces in the second half, that must be disappointing.
Yeah, it is, and especially when we do the work, we do the prep. The players went into the game fully prepared and fully aware of what they were going to face and what they needed to do to get something out of the game. Now, what we've also got to acknowledge, and I do this genuinely because I've got a lot of time for Luke Garrard. I think he's an excellent manager. I know there's no two ways about it. He could easily be managing at a higher level now. He's certainly had opportunity to do so, but he's very committed to what he's doing at Boreham Wood, and he's doing year on year. He does an excellent job. So, I can't pin all the blame on our players. We've got to give credit to Boreham Wood and what they've achieved, because they've set out to achieve a certain objective, and they've managed to do it. So we've got to balance it off a little bit, not get too downbeat and start pointing the finger and blaming. Everybody contributes. The defenders could have possibly done better on the set pieces. Not possibly, could have done better on the set pieces. But other things have happened within those passages of play which have led to the set pieces that other players have been below par, given away soft possession, made unnecessary fouls, not defended particularly well in the run-up to those set pieces that we've got to look at and we've got to do better. Because it's 2 games now where we've conceded an awful lot of set pieces in our half. Bromley was the same, and maybe the referee at Bromley had a little to do with that, but also we've conceded a lot of set pieces in our half, and if we're going to win more games than we're going to lose, then we've got to stop giving teams opportunities to put the ball in our box so easily. So that's an area of focus and an early marker of something we can improve.
Of course, looking ahead now, obviously an opportunity to right things pretty immediately with Tuesday night's game against Oldham.
Yeah, it is. And listen, what better opportunity, really? You go into a great club, a big following. There'll be a decent crowd there. The surface there has been relaid and is in great shape, so an opportunity for us to get the ball down and dish it about. The size of the pitch will play more into our hands than the size of Boreham Wood's pitch, so we'll have the opportunity to stay on the ball longer. They've got the tails up after yesterday's victory, so it should be a really good game, and what a fantastic opportunity for us to go out again, compete against a team who fully expect to be at the top of the division, littered with players who should really be playing at a higher level and with wages that certainly equate to Football League wages as opposed to National League. So, it's a good challenge for us, but also one that we go into fully confident and expectant that we can get a result out of it.
Thank you, Gaffer.
Thanks for that, Luke.